These are the best green shimmers. Welcome to everyone watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today we're going to be chatting about 15 really good green tone shimmers. You guys seem to be loving my shimmering series. I did everything about blurples and silvers and taupes and periwinkles, and a lot of you seem to be enjoying this, so I want to keep the train rolling. And today we are chatting about all things green shimmer. Let's roll. In case you don't know, I love greens, blues, and purples, but as I was going through my collection to select shades for this video, I was like, I have several really good all green eyeshadow palettes, and guess how many made it to the cut in this video? Hardly any. So, we're gonna talk about greens, but we are gonna be talking about greens from loads of different palettes that are like, just have good green tones in. And I did select only shimmers. So first things first, we have some singles. And this is my Lethal Cosmetics palette. So I actually built this over time. I didn't get these in one go, even though it may look like it. But this behemoth of a palette is, I think, 3 or 4 of their little 12 pans that I put together, and then I decluttered some shades that were either too similar to other things that were already in here, and I really just wanted to have all of these shades in one palette because else it would be a little bit too crazy. And my favorite green in this palette is actually this one. This is called Vertex, and it's a lime green shimmer that is absolutely stunning. It is in the middle, so to take it out is actually a little bit too much effort, so I'll just show it to you this way. So again, it's that nice little bright lime green sort of moment, this acidy sort of shade. I love it. And if you swatch it, here it is on the back of my hand or on the back of my finger. As you can see, it's got a little bit of like a yellowy sort of flip to it, but it is really, really beautiful. And the Lethal Cosmetics shimmers, at least the ones I have to be very honest with you, I haven't bought from them in these in this singles range in a while. But the metallics in there are really, really creamy and buttery smooth and easy to work with and very, very vibrant, as you can see, which is why I went with loads of like really fun shades. So those are my Lethal shades, and this is Vertex. I do have a fully green toned singles palette. A lot of these are Sydney Grays, and that's also what we're going to be focusing on. Oh, there's one about ready to pop out. I want to chat to you about this one. This is Chocolate Chip. And this one, and this is Evergreen Dream. I don't know anymore how I got into those. I think they were for mystery bags, and I have found over time that if Sydney Grace releases things in a mystery bag, it very often isn't for sale as a single on their website. But we all know I love the Sydney Grace formula, especially their shimmers are really, really good. They are this like satiny sort of vibe. I don't know why they called this shade Chocolate Chip though. Like, why is it called Chocolate Chip? It's like a grayish green. And those are also like my favorite shades in this palette, is this very muted gray tone row here at the top. Those are my favorites. I also like Levy. This is Levy by Sydney Grace, but I won't be swatching that because I already have enough to swatch. I could swatch this entire palette for you and call it a day for this video, but I wanted to challenge myself. But these are two that I really like. One of them is a little bit like deeper, more your classic foresty green, and the other one is this more muted, grayish leaning green that I think is really, really beautiful. So here are those two shades swatched. Let's start with the small things first, because else I'm going to forget about them, but I have this palette from Girl Cult. No clue anymore what it is called. There's no shade name on the back. Just says number 61, so maybe you can do something with that info. And essentially what this is an all shimmer palette that, actually in my brain, it's very similar to the Sorcery palette from Lisa Eldridge, minus like 2 shades. This is cheaper than the Lisa Eldridge as well. I think mine was like 25 euros, and we're going to be swatching this green shade. All of these are a level of green, but I feel that some of them pull a little bit more blue. So that's why I'm not swatching those things, but these are all really stunning, and these are very sparkly and yummy and smooth and Yeah, Girl Cult is one of those brands that I discovered, I think last year, maybe 2 years ago, and I really like them. So this is a beautiful green tone shimmer. It's got, oh man. It looks a little bit sheer here on the back of my hand, but I find that you can really build this up. It's very smooth, almost creamy feeling, and it's got a level of transparency and then quite a bit of a like sparkly base, but sparkly without it being glitter. I don't know how they did it, but it's a beautiful green. Then we need to chat about the Mountain Trail palette from Sydney Grace. This was gifted to me by Esther. She was like, this is my favorite Sydney Grace palette. I feel you need to own it, so I bought it before they discontinue it. It's not a very green palette to me though. It's got yellows, browns, and then some greens here at the bottom, and especially this shade right here in the middle. It's called To Earth. It's this browny green sort of leaning shade that I think is really, really pretty. Like, green can be mixed in to so many other shades that it will just look different every single time. And this to me is that perfect sort of olivey, cocky, sort of darker green. Like, if you want to go for a green smoky eye, these kind of tones are the ones to go for. So the Mountain Trail is excellent quality. The color story isn't wholly my vibe, but I'm so grateful to Esther for sending this my way, and it is a beautiful palette, beautiful greens in there, but not super green toned overall. And that's something I found with actually a lot of my green tone palettes. Like, the ones that fit in my brain as a fully green tone palette very often aren't that green. The final small thing then is the Druid from Fantasy Cosmetica. And this is very old packaging, because I bought Fantasy Cosmetica when all they had out was this palette. So I got this from the original website back in the day, and the shade in the middle, yes. I've always compared this, especially matte-wise, to the Subculture from ABH. So if that's a palette you ever missed out on, I believe the Druid is still available. But especially these mattes here off to the side are very similar to some of the shades that are in the Subculture that are my favorite. But where the Subculture doesn't have a lot of shimmers, this one does. It's like the best of both worlds. So yeah, this palette really put Fantasy Cosmetica on the map for me. And I have several of their palettes now. And I really, really enjoy them. So here we have that shade in the middle. What is it called? Does it have a name? Serenity is what it is called. And it's sort of like this limey, yellowy green. Like, I love that so much. Like, if I want to go for this very vibrant sort of vibe, and it goes really well actually with some of those more muted greens that it has. It's really, really pretty. ColourPop Mandalorian, the Child palette. I don't think though that the shade that I'm about to swatch for you is from this palette, because this originally had some browns in. And I'm going to be swatching this. And this is, I think, from the Just My Look. If I'm not mistaken, I replaced this, and this shade with 3 of my favorite shades from the Just My Look, which I don't think they still do. But yeah, this shade right here. It's a beautiful, like, cocky green shade. Like, camouflage sort of vibes. So here it is on the back of my hand. You can see that this, again, it's a little bit more golden toned, and it's very similar, actually, this shade that I'm swatching now, to Levy that I pointed out from Sydney Grace. But these sort of like goldeny, olivey sort of shades I love as far as a green goes. In fact, most of the golds I enjoy are ones that have this antique-y, green tarnished feel to them. Those are my favorite golds, but when it comes to greens, this is definitely still green toned enough that it's not a gold for certain. It's got more of a green undertone. Really beautiful shade. I like the ColourPop formula quite a bit as well. I have quite a few of their palettes, but I haven't really bought anything from them in a while. But green tones can also be gray, as pointed out by the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. So here we have a shade in the bottom corner that I really, really enjoy. This is, of course, again, not fully green, but we do get these sagey green shades in. And this one I feel is my favorite. It's the most versatile of the ones that you get. It's got more of a gray leaning undertone, and that's why I appreciate it. And we will see some other grayish leaning greens in a sec. Greens can just be so, so versatile. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty similar to Chocolate Chip, actually. It's right above it. So Chocolate Chip by Sydney Grace is very similar to this shade from Natasha Denona Retro Glam, now that I come to realize it. But the Natasha Denona is a little less shiny. It's a little less metallic. It's more of a satin. Perhaps a little more like easier to wear for people with more texture on their lids than the Sydney Graces, even though Sydney Grace is still like really good quality for like people with more textured lids as well. Really stunning. I have this colorful number. This is the Nomad Monteverdi Cloud Forest palette, and this is something I won in a giveaway, so again, not something I paid for with my own money, but I wanted this. Like, it's a very vibrant shade, but my brain instantly goes to this. It's perhaps a little bit more blue. It's called Magical Mist. But this, to me, is that whimsical sort of vibe that I feel a green can give you. And yes, it has these brighter pops of neon, but essentially, half this palette has a green undertone. Ooh. Ooh, that's an interesting shade. I haven't played with this palette since forever because I'm not the biggest fan of these super vibrant tones. But this, I can get down with. Ooh, it's also very sheer. It's one of those like toppery sort of vibes where, you know, when the light doesn't hit it, it's like super pigmented, and when the light does hit it, it's super sparkly. It's one of those ones, and it's green, but it has a blue sort of flip to it. It's really pretty. I want to put this all over my lid right now, but I'm wearing purple today, so tough luck. Maybe a good palette to select for June for my Shop My Sash, this one. I have to remember that. A really good palette with muted tones is the Crown Jewel from Glaminatrix and MONOLITH that they released last year. This was sent to me in PR, and in here I spotted this really beautiful green shimmer here. I also like this, don't worry about it, but I feel that this, in terms of like, some people were saying like how similar is this to the Silver and Cold from Dive Room Cosmetics. I'm going to be testing out the Silver and Cold later this week. But this I feel is more muted colors, whereas the Silver and Cold has a definite gray undertone. I don't feel this is super gray. Like, this maybe has a touch of gray in, but nothing else has. It's just very desaturated and more muted down. But yeah, that green shimmer in the middle, it was calling my name the minute I opened this palette, so I had to swatch it for you. And this is more of like a classic, like grassy green. Those are not shades I tend to lean towards as much because I feel they are like quite warm tone. They're more of like a light spring sort of vibe if you go color analysis. So if I go bright green, I like to amp it up all the way and go for the lime green stuff. Something like this, it's just sort of like in between, and that's why I don't love it for me. But I still think this shade in particular is really pretty because it does have this... How should I describe this? Like, depending on how the light hits this shade, I hope the camera shows it. Like, I feel like this, just a green, but then the light hits it, and there's this pinky, peachy sort of sparkle to it. So interesting. It's like a duochrome, but without the flip. It's sort of like it's like killing two birds with one stone. Now, we all know I like these sort of limey green vibes, so that the fact that I like the limey green in the Bonfire by Glaminatrix will be no surprise. I mean, this shade right here, the minute I put it all over my lid, I think I just really like these vibrant, limey, goldeny, yellowy greens for that reason. This is more of a multi-chrome sort of vibe that it gives, because this does have a shift, but because it is this metallic shininess, you see it kind of goes from light to dark, and then it has this almost blue flip to it. It's really, really stunning. I think this is an excellent shade. Let me put it here because I don't know where else to put it. Oh, this is so beautiful. It's not really doing it any justice, does it? But I think you can see a little, yeah. If I move my hand, you can see the flip very, very well, I find. So, stunning shade from Glaminatrix. And this formula is so weird. It's this very smooth, creamy formula, but it didn't crease at all. At all. Love it. An oldie but a goodie. the Gemini, if you want your grungy greens, then this is the palette for you. And of course this. This is the originator of the grungy green color story. Before this palette, I feel everybody was sleeping on it, and then we got this, and everybody all of a sudden wanted to do grungy green eyeshadow. This is the shade Goals, and this I think is stunning. Mine is getting a little old, so it's a little grainy, but I can still use this just fine. Really, really pretty as well. And this is sort of like the muted down version of all of these like limey green things that I'm loving. Like, it's still green, but you can see how much yellow this has. It's so, so, so interesting. And on the lids, these kind of shades just sing. They sing once they go onto your lids, and I love it. I've got two more for you. I love this Festive Elegance from DD Signature, especially for the greens. I like the reds and the yellows in here as well. We get some neutrals. But this shade, when I played with it, I was like, you're stunning. So yeah, this has just some excellent shimmers. Again, sort of that yellowy vibe to it, so that it looks more like a gold. I definitely feel like those are my favorite greens, aren't they? Now that I'm swatching all of these together, I'm like, Micah, I'm starting to see a pattern. But I like that this has a little bit of depth. Ooh, it goes really well with the melt, actually. It's a little bit more grungy. It's got a bit of a brown undertone almost. So, so interesting. I think that's a stunning shade. Really beautiful. It's like in this lighting it looks brown, and then when the light hits it, it looks more gold. And then it has that green sort of cocky vibe. Such and very sparkly. If you like your sparkly shades, the DD Signature Festive Elegance is one of the palettes where I feel like everything is so, so shiny. Oh, I said there were two more? No, there's three. Now there's two more. Green Goddess by Bella Beauté Bar. This is one of the very few palettes that I think of in my brain as a green palette, even though it's not a green palette because she's got neutrals in and peachy tones. But essentially you're getting 9 sort of grayish leaning greens in here, which is why I feel it's pretty unique. But then I was looking at the shimmers, I was like, nothing here is super green. Like, this is more of a blue, this is like a minty sort of vibe, which I don't love a mint green. But then I looked at this and I was like, that's a beautiful multi-chrome. So I just want to swatch Renewal for you. But I feel the greenness of this palette really is in the mattes. So that's why I didn't feature too many of my green tone palettes, because I felt that this issue that I ran into with my Bella Beauté Bar is exactly what I ran into with every other of my green tone palettes. Like, there were essentially only like 3 green tones in there. Ooh, that's very sheer. Here is the shade After Swatching on my finger. Really beautiful. Not that green though. It's more blue rather than anything else, but it's this very sort of wet looking shade. I love it, but it could have been more green. Like, for a green palette, this could have been more green toned. Don't you guys agree? Yeah, it's beautiful though. It's really beautiful. But that was one of those palettes where I was like, could have been more green toned. And then I realized I had another really beautiful, brighter green shade in the Feral. Again, that yellowy green. I mean, we're really hitting the pattern on the head right here. This is a really old palette, though. I don't think they still do this. This is stunning, though. I really like this. I think this is actually one of the first shades I had that did that. Ooh, this is this is very different to everything else. Yeah. Very, like, it looks like another yellow tone gold, right? Or yellow tone green, but then when I swatch it, look at how it's such a good, gorgeous, brighter green shade. And then see when the light hits it, you get that touch of yellowy gold. So really, like, if this is across your eyeball, it's going to have this, like, well, not a darker, it's like very, very bright, of course. But then when you turn your face, it's going to look different in different lighting. I think it's stunning. Here are all of the green tones that I've showcased for you in this video today. I think it's absolutely stunning. But I have a type. I think it's safe to say that when it comes to green eyeshadow, shimmer shadows, that I have a type. And it's a sort of limey, yellowy green leaning, be it a little bit more grungy, olivey toned, or I tend to go for things that have more gray in them. I don't know what's going on there. I need a sip of water. I don't know why, but all of a sudden my throat starts to get very ticklish, so I need to round up this video. Thanks so much for watching this video today, you guys. Thumbs it up if you liked it. Stick around for more because there's more where this came from. I tend to do a video like this once a month, but there's lots of other content coming your way. And I also have a second channel, so if you want to check that out, be my guest. The link to it is in the description box below. It's called Floating in Books, so you can follow me on there for vlogs and fashiony things and bookish things and just anything that doesn't really go into the makeup stuff, I tend to post on there. So thanks so much for joining me here today. Take care, and then I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye-bye.